So today I'm going to make a little bit of a rant video. Years ago, the USDA came out to our little place. It wasn't here, it was before I met Carolyn. It was my previous wife. We had this little house, I don't know, 800 square feet or so. 100-year-old home with a backyard. We had chickens and ducks and sometimes sheep and goats. Can't remember, rabbits. We had several different things that we tried and was learning. It was 2008, 2009 time frame. Might have even been longer than that. Well, we lived in this little community. It was 100 people in this community, gravel roads. It was actually called a village. And some of the village members saw that we had duck eggs and chicken eggs. And this one lady one time came over and asked if she could buy some. Well, sure, we had plenty. I mean, we were learning how to do these things, so she gave us a couple bucks. I mean, it wasn't even that I really wanted to sell the eggs. That wasn't what I was trying to do. And what I was thinking was, if she wanted to buy the eggs, I would just buy the food for the chickens. So I guess you could say we were making a profit because we weren't having to spend the money on chicken food, but that's all it was doing. It was just buying the chicken food. And she'd come over once a week, maybe, and pick up some eggs. Sometimes she'd send her little daughter over. Her daughter and my daughter were best friends. My daughter would just take the money from the girl sometimes and give her eggs. And then my daughter would give us the money, or I said, yeah, just keep it, you know, whatever. So, I mean, it was nothing like a business. We weren't trying to get rich off of it. Well, over time, a few neighbors started picking up on the idea of coming over and getting chicken eggs from us, or duck eggs. Well, we had this neighbor who coincidentally is the neighbor who sold us the house. He lived in the house, or he and she lived in the house. Then they moved into a mobile home next door that they owned. They hated everybody in town. I mean, they always were trying to cause problems. Now, I have no evidence of this, but I suspect that they called the USDA on us. So they came out, the USDA, and they were okay. I mean, for the government, federal government, I guess they treated us pretty decently. I guess it could have been gone much worse, but they knocked on the door and said, "Are you selling eggs?" And I said, "I guess you could call it that." I mean, neighbors come over. I don't even have a eggs for sale sign. They just kind of come over and ask if they have some eggs, and they kind of put it in a tip jar. I mean, I'm not really making a fully truthful statement. I mean, no, they weren't putting it in a tip jar. I was taking the money. It was a manipulation of the truth, but it kind of went in the mindset. But a truthful statement would have been, yeah, I'm selling eggs. I mean, that is the truthful statement. I could have said, yeah, I'm selling eggs, but it's more like they just come over. I don't ask them. I'm not trying to sell them. You know, that's what I should have said. They said, well, that's fine. We understand. But apparently they're going across state lines, these eggs, which is funny because state lines was probably, I don't know, 50 miles away. I mean, it wasn't like it was like next door into Illinois. So they said, we just like for you to stop selling them. Okay, no problem. My daughter, friend, would come over occasionally, and miraculously there would be a couple dollars show up in the refrigerator and a dozen eggs missing. And I never said a word, although I should have put a stop to it. I never said a word. I didn't think I was really doing that much wrong. If they want eggs, I mean, they can have eggs. And I don't even think we were doing anything with money then. I think we were just giving it to my daughter. I don't remember making a big deal about it. She was kind of selling them, so I don't know. Apparently it wasn't legal. Well, after a while, I began to realize that these things are lies. I'm telling lies. And after a while, I made a proclamation to my wife. I said, I want us all to stop lying. Even manipulation lies, like the one I just told to the USDA. I just want to tell the truth. And what I see is a lot of these manipulation lies, is what I kind of call them, is a twist in the truth. It was just a tip jar. They're just putting it in there. I mean, I wasn't asking for the money. Which is, it was kind of true, kind of not. I mean, we specifically even said to the woman who brought the money the very first time, yeah, we'll just buy the chicken food for it. So we were selling eggs, but it was a lie. I just got tired of the lies in my life, but I do know that a lot of people do lie. And they will say, oh, it's not really a lie. I mean, I will have people tell me how to explain things to people. And I'll say, no, that's a lie. No, it's not a lie. and then they'll explain how it's not a lie, because there's some truth in it. And apparently if you tell some truth, then all of it is truthful. Well, Judge Judy would disagree with you. I heard her one time, yeah, I've caught you in one lie, so that means your entire testimony isn't truthful to me. And that's the way it needs to be. There should be no lies. What I've learned is when you're dealing with government institutions, you have no choice but to lie. Lying is just part of the deal. I made a video a few days ago, and I'm not going to go into great detail about it. And at the end of this video, I'll put an up next box to that video. And I was talking about the ATF and how the ATF wants to make everybody a FFL dealer if they sell a firearm. That's what their goal is. Long story, again, I don't want to get into it in this video. And there were a lot of comments on this video. It trended, it did very good. I got 300,000 views as of right now. It's starting to slow down, I think. People were telling me, well, don't sell the gun. What you need to do is sell a pet rock for $300 or $400 and then give the person a gun, because you can give away a gun without having to have an FFL license. So that means I have to lie. This means I have to break the promise to myself that I made back in the late 2000s that I was never going to lie again. But you have to lie. If you want to sell a gun, you have to lie. Well, I just feel like that's going to cause too many problems. What if in the future they make a law where you have to register your gun? The guy I gave the gun to says, "Where'd you get the gun?" "Oh, from Rob." And he writes it down on the form like he's supposed to. And so they come and talk to me and say, did you sell this gun to so-and-so? "Oh yeah, I did, Not remembering I sold the pet rock. Well, now I'm in trouble. Whereas if I had just said, hey, I sold him the gun, well, you can't sell a gun without an FFL license. Well, I guess I'm not going to get an FFL license, so I guess I'm just not selling the gun. That's the honest thing to do. Or go get an FFL license. I mean, you think about this. Again, this is just kind of a ranting video, but I struggle with taxes. Taxes just aggravate the heck out of me. I get dinged so much, and I feel like I don't make hardly anything. It just feels like it's a huge amount. But rich people, they get tax breaks. The 2016 debate between, well, you know who they were debating against. The Republican candidate was being accused by the Democratic candidate for not paying his fair share. And he replied back, well, then change the laws to make me pay my fair share. But the laws they have in place say I can take tax breaks. So he was taking tax breaks. So the rich gets tax breaks. But a guy like me, making just barely a wage on YouTube, gets dinged so hard on quarterly payments. It's just gut-wrenching to have to pay that much of taxes. So people will say, well, you could claim this and they're never going to come out. You don't make enough, they're never going to come out and audit you. You could claim this and claim that, and you could write off your gasoline on your car. Well, I don't know any of this. Honestly, my car is not part of my business. If you were traveling to a business connection, when I was a consultant, I claimed my car, claimed my gas, claimed all of it, because I would drive from Missouri to a different state every quarter, several times a month. So all that gas money I could write off. But I can't write off gas money here, going and buying groceries. How's that got anything to do with my YouTube videos? You could tell them this or tell them that. Well, okay, now you're asking me to manipulate the truth so I can get a write-off on gasoline. And I just feel like all this is a sin. Now, I'm not overly religious. That being said, I have my strong faith and beliefs, and I have always said, even if you never read the Bible, there are 10 rules in that Bible that you should follow. They're not guidelines. These are just really good rules that we should follow just to make us good people. Don't lie, don't kill, don't cheat, don't covet your neighbor, all that stuff. That's just a really good set of rules. And what do? That one rule about lying, we can manipulate the truth and call it the truth. God's never going to know. Well, what is he, a dummy? He did create the universe, so Why are we calling him a dummy? I don't think he's that dumb. I think he can read my mind and say, hey, that wasn't exactly the truth. A lot of people in my comments section will talk about the rapture and how it's coming. This is the end times. Okay, so the rapture is coming. Evil will be wiped off the, whatever, and the rest of us are going to be taken to heaven. We're going to fight in God's war. Great. Apparently, I'm the only one going into this war. I'm going to be the lone soldier because I don't know that many people who will try to tell the truth every time. Now, some people will say a mistake. If you make a mistake and you say something that isn't correct, that is a lie. I'm not sure I agree with that. If you don't know what the truth was, my car gets 20 miles to the gallon, and then later you find out, oh, I had a bad Canuter valve, and it only gets 19. I don't see how that was a lie. I truly believed it got 20. Up till the point I found out that it was getting 19. That's a change of information. I don't understand how people who believe they are conservatives can say and do the things they do and say. I mean, I hear this on YouTube all the time. I'm a conservative. GD, F those people. I'm a conservative. Whoa. Why are we cussing? Why are we using, GD and the F word? You're not a conservative. I mean, I watched this one video where he was talking about the moral fabric of this society is in decline, just like the Roman Empire, which I've preached about for years. But all of a sudden some rich guy says it, and now it's gospel, so everybody's making a YouTube video about it. I said it way back in the early 2000s. I was studying the Roman Empire back then. I said, boy, it feels like it's what we're doing now. And he's talking about how sexual behaviors have become immoral. So this is what this YouTuber was talking about. We need to stand our ground. GD, F those people. No, you're not a conservative. The moral fabric of this society went in decline as soon as we took God out of schools, and conservatives, or people who claim to be conservatives, started cussing in public in front of women and children on YouTube videos, calling themselves family orientated, drinking, partying. This is not the moral fabric they were talking about at the end of times. I have not seen too many people who try daily to behave themselves in a respectable manner and follow the 10 rules. And so when people are telling me, this is what you gotta do, you need to lie to the ATF. Well, no, I don't need to lie to the ATF. First of all, if rapture comes, I kind of like to be on the good side. But I can't claim to be on the good side if I'm lying to the enemy. We all can agree ATF is an enemy, but I'm lying to the enemy. I'm lying to myself. Oh, it's not really a lie. There's some truth in it. We all get mad when the government lies to us. When a police officer does their investigation, they lie to trick you into a confession. Here's one Carolyn brought up. We have an understanding that the government is lying to us about our food safety. We know they took payoffs. And so we get mad that the government is lying. GMOs, they're not safe. Or free range. Well, how do we know that the food is free ranged? The chickens went outside one time, they're free range, and they get to stamp it. Who knows what it is? But we know that we're being lied to. And we get angry about it. And at the same time that we're angry about it, we lie. We're angry that the ATF has changed the meaning of the Constitution, which I described in that video. So what are we going to do to correct it? We're going to lie to the ATF. No, stand your ground. And I think that's what rapture is all about. When the enemy telling us to cave, and they're torturing us, and they're telling us to wear the mark, and we're just at the end of our ability to withstand anymore, we take it again, and we take it again, and we tell the truth, and we take the torture. And at some point, the pain will end, and we will live in eternity. I don't understand how we can give up our morals and then say we're moral people. No, we're not moral if we're cussing on YouTube in front of women and children. I mean, we're just not following the rules. the 10 rules. We don't do it. And then call ourselves good people, good Christian, conservative people. Conservatives conserve themselves. They don't overspend money. They don't talk themselves into trouble. They're conservative with the lies. They don't violate the 10 rules. And I'm not even saying you have to memorize the whole book. Just the 10 rules. And we can't do that. And then we're going to say that we're on the good side. So no, I'm not going to lie to the ATF. I'm going to get on videos and I'm going to show my 22 to the ATF and I'm going to tell them this is what I got. My dad gave it to me for free and I can't sell it for a profit without an FLL license. That is the truth. That is the whole truth. If you'll click this up next box, take that video about the ATF. So I hope I can inspire you to stand strong against all this so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.